The Man Who Refused to Die, Titanic's Most Impossible Survivor. April 14, 1912. The Atlantic Ocean was quiet. The night was cold, but peaceful. Under a sky full of stars, the largest ship ever built moved confidently through the dark water. People believed it was unsinkable. They were wrong. The ship was the RMS Titanic. More than 2,000 people were on board. Families chasing opportunity, immigrants dreaming of a new life, millionaires, workers, children, all sharing the same fate. Music played softly, laughter echoed through the halls. No one imagined this night would become history. And among all those passengers was a man almost no one noticed. His name was Charles Joughin. He wasn't rich, he wasn't powerful, he wasn't famous. He was the ship's chief baker. Every morning, Charles baked fresh bread. Every night, he rested quietly in his cabin. He had no idea that in just a few hours, he would do something no human should have survived. At exactly 11:40 p.m., everything changed. The Titanic struck an iceberg. There was no explosion, no dramatic crash, just a long, quiet shudder, like the ship had scraped against something unseen. Most passengers didn't panic. After all, this ship was unsinkable. But below the waterline, ice had torn open the hull. Water poured in, and the truth began to spread. Slowly, then suddenly, crew members understood. The Titanic was going to sink. Fear filled the ship. People cried, people prayed. Some stood frozen, unable to move. Lifeboats were prepared, orders were shouted, and in the middle of the chaos, Charles Joughin remained calm. Instead of running, Charles went to his cabin. There, he drank alcohol, not to celebrate, not to forget, but instinctively to prepare his body for the cold. Then he returned to the deck. For hours, Charles helped women and children into lifeboats, again and again and again. Cold wind cut through his clothes. The deck tilted lower toward the sea. Time was running out. Still, he never tried to save himself. When the last lifeboat was lowered, Charles Joughin was still on board. The Titanic rose higher and higher, almost vertical. Lights flickered, then went dark. And with a sound like thunder, the ship broke apart. Charles walked calmly to the stern, and then he stepped off. The ocean was -2 degrees Celsius, cold enough to kill in minutes. Most people lost consciousness within 15 minutes. Their muscles froze. Their hearts failed. But Charles didn't panic. He floated. He moved slowly. He controlled his breathing. He did not fight the water. For nearly 2 hours, he remained alive, in total darkness, surrounded by silence and distant screams. Finally, a lifeboat spotted him, a human shape, still moving, alive. Barely conscious, but alive. Charles climbed aboard without help. No frostbite, no broken bones. Doctors later said it should have been impossible. Experts believe 3 things saved him. He stayed calm, he didn't panic, he conserved energy. Not strength, not luck, control. Charles Joughin didn't become famous. He didn't write books. He didn't seek attention. But history remembers him as the man who survived when survival seemed impossible. The Titanic took over 1,500 lives, but one baker refused to die. This is the true story of the man who refused to freeze.